bum.
Farmers already 3.
Let's give it a moment so people can join. Okay, have you posted it, right? I mean,
Yeah.
okay, cool. Let's give it then one more minute. Let's get this show on the road. Yeah, we can start it. Okay, guys, welcome back to another weekly webinar with me and Arnaud. And like always, if you got questions, feel free to post them in the YouTube chat window, and we will try to answer them as best as we can, right? And let's get right back at BTC, right? I mean, BTC is pretty much the only thing people want to see these days, because alts are sadly pretty wrecked and most likely going to be wrecked even more. But we have so the thesis that we were having, like we were talking about in these streams for quite a while right now, that we are still in bearish mode because we rejected right here. It's still playing out, and boy oh boy did it play out big time, right? We just dropped like what? We dropped like $1,500 or something like that. I thought it was actually kind of more, but yeah, $1,500 in about 3 days. So that's pretty insane, right? But I would be lying if I said that only happened in the forex, right? Sorry, in crypto, because it also happened in the forex. Like stuff like this, oil went down for like 40%. Never seen stuff like this before, and even USD CAD at this point. I have never seen a gap like this in my life on forex. To be honest, like this is like, okay, I mean I've seen gaps like this, but moons after the gap. Look at that, 2% in one day, right? Or Aussie, who went down like, holy crap. Wait, how much did the week? Oh, that week was, holy crap, that week was like 4%, even more. 5% week in forex in one day. Like that's crazy as fuck, right? So yeah, I'm going to say they halted trades on Dow Jones and everything like that, and SP 500.
Yeah, for
And
15 minutes.
for how long?
For 15 minutes.
Yeah, well, they're still delayed, right? If I'm not mistaken, they're still delayed. Wait, what is that saying? Q?
Yes.
If I'm not mistaken, yep, still delayed, man. So that doesn't, I don't think they're trading. Are they trading?
So you mean that
Ah, they're
they are
still trading, but
trading
they're
again?
delayed.
Yeah, no. I
Ah,
was
okay,
talking
okay,
about
okay, I get it. They
the
are trading.
length time, you know? For 15 minutes,
Yeah,
they are trading.
okay, I get it. So, anyways, so all markets took a hit, right? And we can basically say that's pretty much a lot of it that happened because of Corona, right? We can't lie. So the question now is Corona going to throw us into that financial crisis sooner than everything expected? Well, that could be actually the case because we did have major pullbacks, as you can see, right? Even oil at this rate, if I'm not mistaken, they need like $32 to break even on the oil at creating it. I mean, you know, at providing it. And now it's like under, it's like at $33, right? So it's quite on the line right there, right? So what I was trying to say, definitely Bitcoin didn't take this hit alone, right? So now, as I've been saying this for like a year or something, right? People keep on saying that the next financial crisis, Bitcoin is gonna go up, Bitcoin is gonna go to the moon, it's gonna be 50k, blah blah blah, right, guys? I mean, I will be first again, and I will say it again. Like this just doesn't make any sense, people. Like, why would people buy magical internet money when they are losing jobs, when they have nothing to eat, when they can't afford to pay, you know, mortgages or, you know, loans and everything like that? People are not gonna buy bitcoins. That's the last thing anybody would buy in the time of crisis is a bitcoin, right? So people are like, why is Bitcoin going down if everything else is going down? Well, obviously, because Bitcoin is probably going to be the first one that's going to go down during this crisis, right? Uh, but yeah, let's get down right to Bitcoin, right? So definitely, I made a couple of updates this weekend on the channel 4C, right? And these updates were a little bit late on the day just because I couldn't make any of it because Bitcoin was just going down, 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 right? So of course none of that played out because Bitcoin just never stopped, right? So what I'm observing right now. So today I had one idea when Bitcoin did something like this on a lower time frame. Basically it was like this. First I started with this area right here. As I said, when it touched it, I went to long it here, right? I went to long it here, and I was expecting that it was sort of do this W play, right, and it's gonna move, right? But as this, I did get this. I took a TP, but then I set another long in this area, right? And I just tested it all the way to the bottom. And now I actually sold after the position break even around here, right? So because now I'm expecting that when you see a test so under like here, and if it closes under here, right? If it closes under this area, I'm going to start expecting that we are going to go visit this area. We are going to go visit this area, which is, well, it's a little bit more seen on 4 hours. Yeah. Now this is the area where I absolutely want to see a bounce of any kind, because if I don't see a bounce here, then this shit is truly dead. Like, I'm not just gonna say like that, but you know, if we have 0 bounces in this area, it's like 100% sure we're going under 6k. That's almost, I'm not gonna say 100% sure, but damn, it's like 90% sure we're going under 6k, right? And even though if we get the bounce in this area, we'll still probably gonna go under 6k, you know. Sorry, that was just forex. I still think we're gonna go under 6k, but not as fast as one would expect, right? So definitely, if it touches here, we're gonna have there are gonna be a couple of opportunities to short. It depends of how much the pullback is going to be, right? So all of these 3 lines that I'm putting on the chart right now are gonna be opportunities to short, right? So definitely the first and foremost, the most aggressive opportunity, which can backfire because, you know, you've had such a big drops that you're eventually expecting a pullback. But then again, when this was, and I was saying, you know, and when this was going up, and I was saying this is manipulated, most of the people were just laughing. But you know, the fact that we are going down so fast right now because this on the way up was manipulated. And when you manipulate the market, then you get repercussions way faster and way harder than you can expect, right? So I'm going to say this one can hit you on the back eventually, but maybe it doesn't, right? I mean, definitely I'm going to be looking to fill at least a little bit of percentage at the most aggressive possible short, right? Then the second area is gonna be this area right here. And this area is a little bit widened, we can just take it all the way up here, right? Obviously, we can take all the way. And the absolutely last area that I would be looking at short at is going to be around this area. Yeah, that's a little bit too wide. I mean, it is Bitfinex chart, you know, so on BitMEX it's a little bit different, right? I have my Bitfinex chart is full, so I'm not gonna trade on that one. That's how I'm sort of looking for shorts right now. Definitely, I am fully focused on finding good shorts rather than good longs. That doesn't go to say that I still have a long down here. I do have a long in this area. I do have the long in this area, and I'm expecting, like I said, one of these 3 arrows. But this long right down here, I'm gonna take fast profits. So what it means is, no matter what it's gonna do, I'm gonna take profits here. I'm gonna take profits at the first arrow, right? Uh, because it's counter trend. It's even if we go on highly time frame, no one can tell you this is not bearish right now. Like there's no way no one can tell you this is not bearish, right? So I'm going to take fast profits, and you know, taking those fast profits is probably going to be very thankful at this possible moment, right? Well, why are these lines so weird creeped out right now? Oh, maybe because it's weekly lines. Yeah, yeah. So for Bitcoin, pretty straightforward, man. If you're not, if this is all like kind of last defense to find the bottom. If you can't find the bottom here, it's just gonna be poo, man. Like it's gonna be dead, bro. It's gonna be dead. So let's just say, in case we don't find the bottom, right? What the fuck do we do then? Yeah. So this is a sad thing. If we don't bounce here, we don't get to fill on our shorts again, right? We all took profits. There's no way nobody like we shorted up here. There's no way you didn't take any profits down here, right? Unless you're a superhero or something, right? So definitely, uh, definitely we're going to have to look at situation, and then if it goes under here, we're gonna have to start feeling some longs, right? Now the long area is quite vast, like holy shit, you know, this area is quite big, and you know it's really hard to pinpoint. Oops, it's really hard to pinpoint where it's gonna be, right? But if I took my guesses, your first long would have to be quite in tight with this area right here, quite in tight with it. Okay, I'm not gonna. This area was already tested, so I, by my rules, would skip it. So I'm gonna say around this area is gonna be your first one, and then you just scale it down to around this area, around this area, and you know, just go in, add it, trying to fill as much as position as I can, right? Can I tell you where in this area it's gonna bounce? Most definitely not without any price action. I can only do that from the seen lower time frames when they actually hit there, right? I can't tell you where it's gonna bounce here. But you know, at the end of the day, I don't want to see us not reacting here and just doing this and then reacting, right? Because then we are not gonna be filled on much of our longs, right? At least want to see something like this and then going up, right? Uh, but contrary, if this reacts like this, we get filled here on short, then it goes down to like this, you know, it goes back or something like this, and then it goes, you know, that would be the most perfect scenario what I just drawn on the chart, right? And then, okay, but it's also going too fast, because if we gain this, then we are actually bullish. So can we gain this? You can't tell again, that's far of a prediction already, right? We can gain this. But yeah, on highly time frames, like I mentioned, if you zoom it out like this, you can see you gained nothing to your left, nothing. The high is still here. You rejected here already. You're going down. It's a similar pattern. Like I mean, you're not blind, right? It's a similar pattern to what's happening right now, right? I mean, so yeah. Final stop for BTC can still be far, far away. And final stop, if we never break anything like this, or it means if we never gain anything like this, final stop could be here for BTC, and this is quite low. And I know people will say, oh my gosh, that's not possible. Trust me, it's very, very possible. Because you did something similar here, and we can actually check that out. So people won't say I'm just stuck in something, right? Let's see. Oh yeah. See if I remember. This is like watching node charts, right? But this is back in 2014. So let's just say 20k, right? You went down to like 6k, or wait, no, that's actually 3k. Sorry. You went down to like 6k. You bounced back. This is like 14k, right, or something like that. Then you went down to 3k, and then you went. Then you went back to like 10k, right, and then 1.8k in this case, and then you start rallying up and slowly going up, right? But in this case, after going up, you still didn't gain anything, and you just continue with the bear run. Okay, and then you actually rallied up and start going up, yeah. So basically, you did hit the bottom, right? You did hit the bottom, so it's still quite possible. Wait, I would have to say, Wait, this is like, okay, so this is like 20k if I'm looking correctly. So this would have to be 6k. Aha, this is then 10k. This is 3k. This is like, uh, yeah, this is again like 9k, I guess. Okay, this one. Okay, so we overextended it in this one. We would have to get at least to come up here to be even close to this. And then this is like 1.8k. This is like 1.8, and then we start layering up and going up. Yeah, that would be more correct vision than what I was trying to say. So yeah, as you can see, if you go back to this right now, back to the bigger chart, right? As we said, we still got 20k, right? We have 6k, we have 10k, right? And we have like 14k. This is 7k, right? And then it's going like 10k, and now we can go back to like this, and then do something like here before again, before we finally reach this, and then going, and then starting to finally go rallying up again, right? So yeah, it's quite possible. I mean, of course, it's not this low because it's in minus, but you know, you just get the picture of what I'm trying to say, right? So yeah, until we break something, until we gain something, it is quite possible, and I'm not making this shit up. Ethereum. Yes, Ethereum. I've exited most of my shorts down here and had a long for it, and actually already took profits because, as I said, you're not in a bull market, right? So definitely take your profits really fast, like I said. But now it still pains me, right? Because I would want to see at least this area to get hit, so we can fill maybe some more of the shorts, right? But looking at Ethereum, right, it's not as clear as Bitcoin, even on far out time frames. If you just clear this entire chart, right? You just clear this entire chart. And you know, look at it from like this, right? So Bitcoin at least came, if I'm not mistaken, to like up here, right? Bitcoin at least came to like up here, right? Look at where Ethereum is, right? It didn't even gain this, the previous one. It didn't gain even the main level of the chart, right? It didn't gain nothing. So my guess for Ethereum is it actually has good chances of actually going under low before Bitcoin goes, right? So I'm saying, you know, maybe a little bounce here or something like that, but not breaking the top and then going lower towards a new low. So that would be like under 80 bucks eventually, right? Might even get a little bounce here, but eventually you would find yourself under local low, which is basically 86 bucks or something like that, right? Definitely doesn't look too good. So if Bitcoin does what it does right now, Ethereum is just gonna follow, and it's just gonna overreact as it always overreacts. Like always, it's always overreacting, right? And given the sense of the current bearish market and everything, it's probably gonna happen. Okay, so last time for what was the last time for XRP? We already said what we want to see. And when you have this accumulation pattern, you actually want to, when it goes like this, you guess, like you want to see something like this, and then it goes closes back into the range and goes up, right? And you could say that you got a little bit of beat down here, but still not enough, right? We'll see what happens now. We'll definitely see what happens now. I was hoping that it more like hit this level, but then if the market is going so much down, it can still happen. So I'm still going to wait for that one. I'm not going to trade it. Definitely not fond of trading alts right now. Bitcoin is not stable, and it's definitely not stable at the moment. I'm just not fond of trading alts. It's just way too dangerous. Way too dangerous, and most of the time it's gonna be waste of money. But I mean, we do have, like, unfortunately, we do have bots and everything that they kind of know when to change the trends and go out of trades, and which people usually don't do, right? They usually just wait for stop, but bots can, like, you know, do them themselves. So for bots it's okay, but for humans, you know, it's mostly like if you're gonna trade alts right now, it's like this: if you're gonna get stopped on one alt, you're most likely gonna get stopped on other alts because you're gonna take same sort of stuff on every alt, and then as long as one stops you, then probably the other is gonna follow, right? And that's the cancer of the alts right now, because they're so, plus they're kind of unvolatile, right? Yeah, Thief says ETH. Yeah, I already said about ETH, man. It's looking nasty. Sorry, it's looking nasty, and it's good chances of heading towards new low. Of course, it's gonna I can't tell how soon this will happen, or if there's not gonna be. There's probably gonna be some bounces here, or like I said here, right? But eventually, long time frame look, it's probably gonna meet somewhere in this region right here, going to be hitting it. So that's again could be from like, I don't know, $60 to like, definitely if you look to the left of this side you could find something, right? But it's too soon to talk about it right now. We still need to see some more price action of us to be able to say that. So let's first wait till it goes to like here or something, and then we start elaborating where it's gonna stop next, or where the possibilities are that it can stop next, right? Let's just check alts. I guess we left some lines right here, and I see that I left quite similar lines to what I've seen on XRP, and quite looking at it, yep, good chance that we are getting out of here, and hoping that something like this happen. But this line is gonna be really hard to happen. This one right now, so we're just gonna delete it. It's just gonna be hard, and this one is more likely than at the end of the day, but it is a little bit perfectly written. Of course, it can do something like, so definitely, what I mean, it can be stretched out a little bit. It doesn't say it's gonna happen exactly like this, right? Because we did fail to hold this area, so now as we didn't hold this area, we're probably gone lower, right? Simple as that. As with every other alt that I'm gonna check probably right now, it's gonna be similar story. Again, even LTC, absolutely crucial to hold this area. We lost it, now we're testing the quite bottom of the swing, and that's already a bad sign, right? So what you can do right now, it's gonna go like here, and it's most likely gonna reject and probably go lower. Or if you go like here and you go, then you have to absolutely hold this area. But from my experience, when you do something like this, it's already, you have way less chances of going over and holding this area than if you're going down, right? So it is, as you might say, an educated guess at the end of the day, right? So again, guys, if you got any questions, please do post them in the YouTube channel, or the text, and we will answer them to the best of our abilities. EOS. Yep, EOS gave us a nice reaction on the first fill, and then it's just kind of crumbled down, and it's similar story. Like I said, would have to absolutely hold this area right now. Again, failing, going under, and now good chances of just doing something like this, or if it goes over, it has to hold it. But again, slight chances that this happens because it already went and tested it too deep. We're already too deep on the downside, right? And this does, and this does ruin the price action. ADH, let's see, ADH. Okay, ADH is one of the best looking ones, to be honest. I've been looking at. So it actually is a possibility. So we got our fill here, first profit target, and we got stopped even. And now this one still has chance, but it has to absolutely hold this one. Has to absolutely hold this one. Must not go any lower. Go above it right now, hold it again. And then if it goes above it and it touches this line, if it touches this line, I would long the pullback yet again, and then hopefully it's gonna fly. So this one is actually looking pretty good. I would actually long this one if it does anything like this. But it has to first touch this line. Has to first touch for this line, and then it has to hold this one. So I would risk on a long here, and then hopefully, just something goes up or just reacts to my likings, right? But again, just for us to do that, or even have chances doing that, BTC has to stabilize, and right now BTC is not looking quite like stabilized. Let's just check like 5 minutes time to see if we are making any progress. You see, it's again the problem, right? Once you start, once you start closing under this area, as you can see, it becomes problematic, right? It becomes problematic once you start closing under this area, and this is why I already said when I saw a dip like this, and then it come back up, I closed a lot of my position on break even, right? A lot of my position on break even, because this, by my chances, or say by my again expertise said, it's most likely to go lower. It has higher chances to go lower than to go higher, so it would make no sense for me to leave the full position open, right? It's just rather, so right now what you want to see that it goes like this, something like this, and then you can perhaps relong this level again, and then hopefully it goes higher, right? But again, as once that it goes as deep as this, when you see it going deep as this on important areas as this, is what I'm trying to say, is very likely that you're gonna get a decent bounce, You're either gonna get wrecked or you're gonna get a small bounce and then it's gonna get wrecked further, right? So it very rarely occurs that you get a decent reaction from a position like this, right? Very rarely occurs, so it's not really optimal to trade it. It's just not optimal at the end of the day, right? So again, guys, you got any questions? Because we just went through most of the important markets. So if you guys got no questions, then we will slowly start ending this stream. I do want to say that, yeah, I mean, I don't think we are in a crisis yet, a financial crisis or anything yet. I'm just saying that this, we sort of catch the glimpse, right? Because we still have to remember the like votings and everything, you know. They have like it's election year in USA, so I doubt they're gonna let the market slide. But it's definitely scary when you see stuff like this happening, right? I mean, definitely like this is like 20% drop, and if you look at it, right, like how long it took us to get there, right? So let's just say it dropped to here. So how long did it take us to get there? Actually, it took us almost 3 years, right? So we lost 3 years in a day. So that's pretty crazy, right? We lost 3 years in just one day. So yeah, I don't think that we are in crisis just yet, because even if you look at it on weekly, it doesn't look that bad either, right? But once again, story is like this: if we further go down and we start closing under this area, that this is gonna be bad for a sign for America. If we start closing on this area, so then I would say, okay, maybe crisis is not as bullshit as everybody calls it for, right? But again, I don't think this is so much crisis. This is more like Corona, right? Because at the end of the day, a lot of people are getting infected. Europe is getting shut down, especially Italy. Italy is shut down completely. Like they are not allowed to leave the quarantine, or you know, they're not even allowed to walk the streets in like Milan or something like that. And if they get caught, it's like 3 months of prison or some shit like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's pretty
Yeah,
crazy when
it's
you think
pretty
about it,
bad
huh, Arnaud?
state. Even the school, nothing,
Yeah, the
nothing.
schools are closed down, everything, you know. I don't understand how this system works at the end of the day. How do people get food? How do people pay the rents or, you know, mortgages or
Plus,
loans?
plus good part of Italy is relying on tourism, and it will be bad. It will be bad.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, yeah, a lot of Italy relates on tourism. Like the other
Yeah,
country that relates on tourism is Croatia, right? And I already read the article this week that Croatia is actually preparing to lower the prices for 50% to even survive the year, you know. And their like BDP is like 30 or 40% just from tourism, so it's pretty crazy, right? Definitely, when shit like this happens, they're gonna get wrecked, right?
yeah,
Uh,
of course.
yeah. So I guess Arno, this is it for today, huh? I mean, we covered the most important
Let
areas
me
and
let
everything.
me see if we have no other question. So yeah,
So we got no
yeah, I would
questions.
say
We covered this. So basically, for BTC, as I said, slight chances we're going up from here. But if we go up from here, we have to hold that area, and then if you touch this, you can basically start looking for long here. Before touching this, I would not be looking for long here. And even then, you have a tight stop, right? So it's either gonna hold it or it's gonna stop you, right? So it doesn't care. But if it's not gonna hold here, right, then it's just this is the next long area, and this area should be really good. This area should give us a reaction almost for sure, right? I mean, like for sure. Like if this area doesn't give us a reaction, then holy crap, then BTC is dead as shit. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. I guess we will be seeing you guys next week, right? I mean,
yeah, same hours.
yep.
For
Stay safe, guys. Try to
stay
avoid,
safe, guys. See
yeah.
you.
Try to avoid Corona, guys, and stay safe, right? See ya then.
Yeah.
Bye.